For my third video, I chose to lead a CIT meeting. In leading this meeting, it was also establishing all our members that were going to be in. So I contacted the different business members, and I also contacted stakeholders in the community and also the parents. I also included some teachers and some of the administrators of the campus at Palacios Junior High. Going through this, again, our principal Patrick Talbot was involved. Of course, myself, the assistant principal Gary Figueroa. We were all involved in the site-based making committee. And our CIT agenda was set by Mr. Talbot and myself. We held the meeting on September 24th at 2015. We held a meeting at 4:30 p.m. in the Palacios Junior High LRC, which is our library. One of the biggest part of the meetings was making sure that everybody was aware of who was on the committee and what vital parts they played in the community. So we did a quick introduction of all the members. We went over the purpose of the CIT committee and why we have it with the members. And we talked about how we have to set goals for our school district and really for our campus. What we did was we took all the data that we had and from last year's STAR test, and we looked and investigated and broke down all the areas that we needed to improve upon. And we broke up into groups and worked on that and did that. Again, the purpose of the CIT was to establish the goals that we wanted to meet here for our campus. We also discussed our mission statement for the junior high. We did a parent survey, which at the beginning of the school year at Meet the Teacher Night, we handed out to the different parents in order for us to get a breakdown of where parents thought we needed improvement, whether it be educational, discipline-wise, communication-wise. We did a survey and went over the results with the parents. Again, we went over the previous year's data. We talked to the parents and everybody on the committee about our technology grant and how we applied for a grant and received a grant, and how we were able to get many iPads out to the students that needed them, and also the jetpacks that would provide internet service for the students there at their houses. It made it very convenient for us to load up apps on the iPad that would help tutor those students at home. And the wireless internet also provided helped those students be able to reach those services or acquire those services at their homes. One of the other things we talked about was the interdisciplinary unit that we're doing, where our teachers in English are breaking down the book of Dark Water Rises, which is a book about the hurricanes in Galveston, and how we're spreading that over through all the curriculum, not only in English, but how it affects science and social studies and math. And we just tied it all together, and they are currently working on that. I introduced the instructional materials that we're currently using as far as consumables, and the parents were interested in seeing how that worked and how teachers weren't required to make as many copies anymore. Now we had the consumable where the pages could be torn out and the kids could take for their use. We also did an enrollment report as far as how many students we had, and currently at Palacios Junior High we have 100 7th graders and about 113 8th graders. This is the way the meeting was broken down. I will tie in the video from the meeting over the next few minutes, and at the end I will do a reflection on how the meeting went.
I guess 5 minutes after anyone else comes in, we can kind of just jump in with us. First of all, let me say thank you and welcome to the junior high. I appreciate you guys taking the time to come here and be part of our campus and help us improve. This is a campus improvement team, so obviously the objective of this committee is to help us improve and grow as a campus. And a lot of the stuff we take out of these meetings, we will actually put in our campus improvement plan, and that'll be our goals that we set for the upcoming year, of identifying our weaknesses and our strengths and things of that nature, and how we want to improve. Before we get started, let's just kind of go around and introduce ourselves in case anybody doesn't know anybody. My name is Patrick Tower. I'm the principal here, and this is my 4th year on this campus, first year as head principal.
My name is Gary Figueroa. I think everybody in this room I know. I think Miss McKeska, I met you at the first day, meet the teacher. I think I've met Sally first before a couple times. But I've been with the school district for 18 years, and this is my first year as the assistant principal here at the junior high. It's been a lot of fun so far.
I'm Haley Garcia. I'm a parent.
I'm Amy Quebec, the parent, not the teacher.
Kathy Fearing, special ed teacher.
The other Amy Quebec, science, 8th grade teacher.
Tamara Devant, 8th grade English.
Sally Kurtz, I'm a business representative.
Linda Ray, 7th grade English.
Nikki McKeska, business/mom.
Jamie Gurnt, 7th and 8th grade math.
And we already discussed this on 3, just on purpose CIT, and it's just, we'll meet 4 times throughout the year. Our next meeting I have scheduled is for November 2nd. If that doesn't work for us, you can always email me, or we can find a better date. That's our next scheduled meeting, and then once we have that meeting, we decide our spring meetings. But, that's it. If everybody had a chance to grab this sheet, did anybody ever get a chance to get one of these? It's kind of before we go into data, we can take a look at what our mission statement is. And Mr. Abs and I kind of came up with this with the teachers last year. It's just kind of an idea of what we want our students to look like when they graduate from our campus. And you'll notice Mr. Figueroa, he's recording this meeting. He is still logging some hours for his internship. So if he's walking around with a thing hanging from his neck and you're wondering what that is, that's
Actually, all of us.
it's called our swivel. It's something we actually use in the classroom. And so teachers can record their lessons and go back and,
Yeah, so we have three of them.
we have 3 of them.
3, so teachers can rotate and use them.
We've used it a little bit. Mrs. Bain used it a little bit last year. But he's actually going to lead a lot of this meeting, just because he has to have a video recorded meeting. So, but what I wanted you guys to do is kind of look through what a PGHS student should look like when they graduate. We can go back and look at this later if we want to add or take something away from it. But I thought we should look at this first before we get into the parent survey results, and then we get into the data and look at where our strengths and weaknesses are, and how does that tie into our mission statement. And then when we go to our goal setting, it'll all kind of tie together. You want me to read it out loud, or you guys want to look through it, or?
We can read.
Okay. We felt like these were our core values that we need to be looking at.
What else you want to look at now?
Yep, I'm gonna look through that. Kind of leaving.
The next thing is the junior high parent survey results, Title I needs assessment. And what it has broken down is, we gave these out at Meet the Teacher Night, and it just goes through the same thing. I don't want to read it all to you. I think you can go through there. I think it's better for you to go through and read it. But it just breaks down a couple of things, like our campus promotes academic success by working with parents and students. You know, we had 20 parents that, you know, agreed with that. One was undecided, one disagreed with it. But we're using this as far as what we need to fix, and this helps us go into our campus improvement policies also, as we just read down. And then all the way down to 8, which allowed for people to go in and make their own comments as far as what they thought. You know, if it wasn't an informal question, we got all the way to the bottom where they can go ahead and write in what they thought they felt the campus needed to improve on.
Obviously, it was a very large sample group there. Hopefully next year we'll get more responses.
One of the things that made it tough was we had Central, High School, Eastside, Junior High, you know, and of course they're getting one at every school, which made it a little bit tough because we wanted them to fill it out that night and, you know, give them back while they were on the run, going from campus to campus. So I think next year we may just work it to where it's later on in that packet we can send home with parents, and it makes it a little bit easier for them to get them back to us and we'll have a better response with it.
I guess what we're talking about, did you I'll just ask you guys since you're here, did you like having open house before school started more than waiting a couple weeks? 'Cause that's something I wanted to have it before, and that way the kids get their schedule, it's a chance to meet the teachers, and
I liked
Not-
it before,
yeah.
but I think it was crazy having.
we need to
I
split it
worked
up.
at 3 different schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was really hard to get to all, I mean, Central, and I know high school's right next to junior high, one at high school too, but it was, especially when you have, you know, each student with that many teachers,
Yeah.
my older ones, it was
Maybe a secondary and an
impossible to
elementary
get
day.
something, it was impossible
Or
to
stagger
get
the
to.
times
Even,
more.
all these, you know me, I was a kid and I haven't made it to high school yet, but every year it's even hard just to get from Central to East
It
Side.
is, yeah,
And
it's,
then y'all started, your times were great.
yeah, I definitely liked it before school though, that helped.
And I heard,
tremendously.
not just from me, but I heard some of the people had been calling me over the summer, okay, what do we do for junior high this week?
Mhm.
It was calming for all the people coming into junior high.
Yeah,
To
'cause
see
that
it
way-
ahead of time.
Yeah, before you stepped on campus, you were able to see. Now the kids in the spring are able to come over and they take the tour of the campus and they meet the teachers. But for some parents, they kind of want to see where everything's at too. And I think this helped them because they were able on that, you know, before school even started to kind of get an idea, you know, where everything was going to be for their kids.
And when you're 12, 3 months is an eternity.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I don't even, yeah, you can't even, they won't
Some
even remember
forgot.
May, yeah.
Some don't remember the days of the school week.
They were 3 inches shorter 3 months
Days.
ago, so.
Honestly though, one of my friends had told me before we started junior high, the year before last, like they don't tell you nothing. That's I don't bad grammar for me, but they don't tell you nothing. You don't know who's who. You don't know what's going on.
What's their
Yeah.
name? Because I think you're the one that wrote that comment on the letter.
That's what
Just
it's
re-
their English teacher. So starting out this way was more of a hey guy, hey, we welcome you, come in, and you know, not that that one thing changed it, and it wasn't
No, it's
an
just-
American campus before, but it's a good foot forward.
All right, good.
Comment on the survey. We have Remind 101 set up. You know, we could send it out electronically.
Do a survey monkey.
I don't know how great it would be, the response, but it's easy. It doesn't cost us anything.
Okay.
Send out a Survey Monkey link and see if you get any responses that way. Because I can't imagine, even with that first week of packets, y'all did so
You're right.
much.
Yeah.
Who wants to fill this out?
Or which
agree.
kids are going to be doing it, and it'll be
Yeah.
disagreeing.
Yeah.
And that was another
So,
reason
electronically may be an option.
we wanted to get a head start on the packets as well, because that's always a
You know,
battle.
Yeah, on those two, we had, what, maybe 5, I think, after the first week of school, we only had like 5 kids that still had to bring it. We had everybody else's done,
Yeah,
so
that
that
was
was a
probably our
big
best
plus.
ever. Both ladies in the office did a great
Yeah,
job.
our secretaries did a great job, awesome job.
Okay, so kind of what I was thinking is we could go through as groups, we can just split in 2 groups by table and kind of look through some data from last year, kind of how we did as a campus with this packet. How our accountability system works now with STAR is we are pooled together with 40 other campuses that are similar to us. Now, they may not necessarily be compared to us, but we're compared to them. And so what they look at is they'll look at our economically disadvantaged, our English language learners, our mobility rate, which is how many kids move in and out of our campus, and they'll look at the student population overall. And what they'll do is they'll find the closest 40 schools that match up to you. Now, these schools may not be compared to us, but we're compared to them. And what I mean by that is if you, I don't want to get too complicated with it, but if you had like an XY axis, math teachers, you can help me with this, and you're pinpointing, using all that information, you're setting it on there, and you had to make a circle large enough to get 40 schools in it around you. Now those schools may be over here, and you're just catching on the outside edge, their circle may be smaller to get 40 schools in. So it's not always, I can't just call Refugio and say, hey, I see that we're a comparison school here. They may look at their list and say, you're not even on the list. So it's kind of how you get your distinctions is by being in the top 10 of that group of 40. Now that doesn't necessarily mean there are some great campuses that got no distinctions, and there are some campuses that are okay that got a lot of distinctions. So it's not really, because there is no more exemplary or commended. That doesn't exist anymore. There's only 2 things. You flunked or you met standards. So it's kind of like, nobody wants to put on their marquee, we met standard this year, yeah, woo-hoo, you know. So that's why you see the distinctions, but that really doesn't mean it's a moving target. That really doesn't, what's a distinction for one campus is not a distinction for another campus. you could have a school